the young Filipino boy stepped onto the America's Got Talent stage, his small hands gripping the microphone as his heart raced. The bright stage lights momentarily blinded him, and the crowd's polite applause seemed to echo in his ears, mixing with the rapid beat of his heart. The judge's eyes followed him carefully, Simon Cowell leaning slightly forward with a skeptical look, as if trying to gauge whether this would be just another ordinary audition. Despite the nerves, the boy took a deep, steadying breath, feeling the weight of his dreams pressing on his shoulders. Every step he took was measured, yet filled with determination, as if he carried not only his own hopes but the pride of his country with him. Then he opened his mouth, and the first note poured out like magic. The sound was pure, golden, and unexpectedly powerful for someone so young. The audience froze, and even the seasoned judges could not hide their surprise. Simon Cowell's usually sharp, evaluative expression softened into astonishment, his eyes widening slightly. The boy's voice was rich and emotive, carrying a depth that seemed far beyond his years. Each note held clarity, precision, and a heartfelt sincerity that immediately commanded attention. The atmosphere in the theater shifted, charged with the electrifying energy of raw talent finally revealed. As the performance continued, the boy's voice soared effortlessly, each phrase more mesmerizing than the last. He infused the song with emotion, telling a story not just with lyrics but with the sheer power of his golden voice. The audience watched in awe, many visibly moved, some whispering in disbelief at the unexpected brilliance before them. Simon's jaw remained dropped, the usual air of skepticism completely gone, replaced by wonder. The performance built naturally, each note rising and falling with dramatic tension, creating a powerful crescendo that left everyone on the edge of their seats. When the final note echoed and lingered in the air, Simon could no longer contain his excitement. He stood abruptly, reaching for the golden buzzer. Confetti exploded around the stage as the boy's eyes widened in disbelief. Tears of joy streamed down his face as the audience erupted into cheers. The other judges joined in applause, some even overcome with emotion, acknowledging the extraordinary talent they had just witnessed. In that instant, years of dedication, practice, and belief in his own dream came to life in one unforgettable moment. As the confetti settled and the crowd continued to cheer, the boy took a moment to absorb everything. Simon Cowell walked over, offering a rare and genuine compliment, calling him, one of the most incredible young singers he had ever heard. Cameras captured the boy's beaming smile as he soaked in the overwhelming support and recognition. In that brief, magical moment, he became more than a contestant. He became a star, a symbol of perseverance and passion. The applause, the cheers, and the golden buzzer marked the beginning of a new chapter in his journey, a journey that promised to inspire millions around the world. The young Filipino boy steps onto the AGT stage, his small frame almost dwarfed by the bright lights and towering set. The audience claps politely, but the air is thick with anticipation. Every eye in the room is on him, and even the judges exchange curious glances. Simon Cowell leans forward in his seat, his usual skeptical expression in place, clearly ready to critique. But there's also a hint of intrigue. The boy grips the microphone tightly, takes a deep breath, and closes his eyes for a brief moment, as if centering himself for the moment that could define his entire life. The stage feels enormous, the lights blinding, yet he stands firm, ready to transform nervous energy into something extraordinary. The first note escapes his lips, and immediately, time seems to slow. The rich, golden voice fills the theater, warm and resonant, carrying a purity that is almost unreal for someone his age. The audience falls silent, captivated by the tone, the control, and the sheer emotion woven into every note. Simon Cowell's eyes widen, his pen pausing mid-note on the scoring sheet. The other judges sit stunned, unable to hide their amazement. Each subsequent note flows effortlessly, precise yet deeply emotional, telling a story that transcends words. The boy's confidence grows with every measure, his body swaying naturally with the rhythm, completely immersed in the music. The connection between performer and audience is immediate, electric, and undeniable. As the song reaches its emotional crescendo, the theater is enraptured. The young singer's voice soars, powerful and tender at the same time, each note layered with raw vulnerability and remarkable technical skill. The audience is visibly moved, some are on the edge of tears, others are holding their breath, caught in the intensity of the moment. Simon Cowell, typically composed and reserved, leans back slightly, unable to conceal the genuine astonishment on his face. The judges exchange whispers of disbelief, each quietly acknowledging that they are witnessing something rare, something extraordinary. The boy's performance isn't just about hitting the right notes, it's about storytelling through song, connecting with every person in the room as if speaking directly to their hearts. Finally, the last note lingers, suspended in the air, before fading into awed silence. For a heartbeat, nobody moves, no one dares to break the spell. And then, as if on cue, Simon Cowell rises from his seat and hits the golden buzzer. Confetti explodes from above, showering the stage in glittering celebration, while the audience erupts into cheers and applause. The boy is overwhelmed, tears streaming down his face as the reality of the moment sinks in. The judges clap enthusiastically, some wiping their own eyes, while Simon offers a rare, heartfelt smile and words of praise, calling him one of the most incredible young singers he has ever heard. The boy takes it all in, a mixture of disbelief, joy, and gratitude. Walking off the stage, he carries with him not just a golden buzzer, but the beginning of a journey that promises to transform his life forever. The young Filipino boy stepped onto the AGT stage, his small frame almost swallowed by the bright lights and massive audience. His hands gripped the microphone tightly, and his eyes scanned the sea of faces with a mix of excitement and nerves. The audience clapped politely, sensing the anticipation in the air, while the judges exchanged curious glances. Simon Cowell, known for his critical eye, leaned forward slightly, a skeptical frown crossing his face. Every step the boy took felt heavier, every heartbeat louder, as he prepared to perform the moment that could change his life forever. Then, he opened his mouth, and the first note poured out. It was clear, rich, and astonishingly controlled, immediately silencing the theater. Simon's eyes widened, a rare look of shock spreading across his face. The other judges leaned in, unable to hide their surprise while the audience sat mesmerized. The boy's voice had a golden quality, a purity and warmth that seemed far beyond his years. Each note carried emotion and precision, capturing everyone's attention in an almost magical way. It was more than singing, it was storytelling through sound, each word floating effortlessly into the hearts of everyone present. As the song progressed, his voice grew even more powerful and expressive. He hit high notes with stunning clarity, then softened to delicate, tender tones, showing a control that left the judges completely in awe. The emotion behind each lyric was palpable, tugging at the heartstrings of everyone in the room. The camera captured the boy's intense focus, his eyes closed for a moment as he connected deeply with the music. You could feel the tension, the vulnerability, and the passion radiating from him. The audience was on the edge of their seats, some with tears forming, completely caught in the spell of his performance. Simon Cowell's usual composed demeanor had vanished, replaced by sheer admiration. When the final note lingered and faded into silence, Simon didn't hesitate. He leapt from his seat and pressed the golden buzzer. Confetti exploded into the air, and the boy's eyes filled with tears of joy. The audience erupted into applause, and the other judges rose clapping and cheering. The boy was overwhelmed, a radiant smile lighting up his face as he realized the magnitude of what had just happened. Years of dedication, practice, and dreams had led to this defining moment, and it had paid off in the most spectacular way. As the performance ended, the judges praised him profusely. Simon offered a heartfelt compliment, calling him one of the most incredible young singers he had ever heard. Interviews with the boy revealed his humility and determination, and the cameras captured the pride in his family's eyes. Walking off the stage, the young star looked forward, knowing this was just the beginning of a remarkable journey. He had stunned the judges, captivated the audience, and proven that with talent, hard work, and belief in oneself, dreams could indeed come true. The camera follows a young Filipino boy as he nervously walks onto the America's Got Talent stage, gripping the microphone tightly. His small hands tremble slightly, but his eyes reveal a quiet determination. The audience offers polite applause while the judges exchange curious glances. Simon Cowell leans forward in his seat, a skeptical look on his face, silently questioning what this young boy could possibly bring to the stage. The boy takes a deep breath, pausing for a brief moment to calm his racing heart, knowing that everything he has dreamed of is about to happen in the next few minutes. As he opens his mouth, the first note fills the theater, instantly freezing everyone in stunned silence. It's a voice so pure and powerful that even seasoned judges cannot hide their astonishment. Simon Cowell's brow furrows, his mouth slightly agape, unable to mask the surprise on his face. The other judges sit up straighter, their expressions shifting from polite curiosity to genuine amazement. The boy's tone is rich and emotional, carrying a weight and maturity far beyond his years. Every note seems to resonate deep within the audience, leaving them spellbound. The camera captures the intensity in the boy's eyes, reflecting his passion, his dedication, and the countless hours he has spent perfecting his craft. With each passing verse, the performance grows even more captivating. His voice flows effortlessly, weaving a tapestry of emotion that tugs at the heartstrings of everyone watching. The audience leans forward in their seats, some holding back tears, completely immersed in the experience. Simon's expression softens as he listens intently, clearly moved by the unexpected brilliance before him. The boy's delivery is both vulnerable and commanding, conveying every ounce of his story and soul through his singing. There is a magnetic energy on stage, a sense of magic that cannot be taught or replicated. It's the rare kind of performance that leaves everyone watching utterly speechless. As the final note resonates, the theater is silent for a heartbeat before erupting into cheers. Simon Cowell jumps from his seat, unable to contain his amazement, and presses the golden buzzer. Confetti rains down in a spectacular explosion of color, and the boy's face lights up with pure, unfiltered joy. The audience rises to their feet, applauding and cheering, while the other judges offer smiles, applause, and emotional nods of approval. The boy is overwhelmed, tears of happiness streaming down his face as the realization of what he has just achieved sinks in. The camera captures this beautiful moment of triumph, a culmination of years of dedication, practice, and unwavering belief in his own talent. In the aftermath of the performance, the boy takes in the applause and standing ovation, visibly moved by the recognition he has earned. Simon Cowell offers one of his rare heartfelt compliments, calling the boy one of the most incredible young singers he has ever heard. The judges continue to praise him, emphasizing the extraordinary nature of his talent. As the boy walks off the stage, his steps are confident and proud, his dreams now validated and his journey as a rising star just beginning. The energy, emotion, and brilliance of this performance leave an unforgettable mark on everyone who witnessed it, a moment that will be remembered on America's Got Talent for years to come. The young Filipino boy stepped nervously onto the AGT stage, his small hands gripping the microphone as his eyes scanned the bright lights and the audience before him. The applause was polite but measured, a mix of curiosity and anticipation hanging in the air. Simon Cowell and the other judges exchanged glances, their expressions a mixture of mild curiosity and skepticism. The boy's chest rose and fell with deep, controlled breaths, as if summoning every ounce of courage he had. Every step toward the center of the stage seemed to carry the weight of his dreams, years of practice, and countless moments of self-doubt. As he opened his mouth for the first note, the audience fell silent, almost as if the room itself was holding its breath. The sound that emerged was breathtaking, pure, golden, and impossibly mature for someone so young. Simon Cowell froze, his eyebrows raised in astonishment, the signature skepticism on his face replaced with genuine awe. The other judges leaned forward, their eyes wide, clearly captivated by the extraordinary voice that filled the theater. Every note carried a clarity and emotion that seemed to reach straight to the heart. The boy's expression was one of focus and determination, his connection to the music almost tangible, allowing the audience to feel the depth of every word he sang. As the song progressed, his performance grew even more powerful, each note built upon the last, rising with emotional intensity and raw vulnerability. The audience sat mesmerized, some quietly crying, others leaning forward in sheer amazement. Simon's jaw was nearly dropped, a rare unguarded reaction from the usually composed judge. The boy's voice resonated through the hall with a depth and strength that belied his age, leaving no doubt that he was a prodigious talent. Every crescendo, every soft passage, was delivered with precision, control, and an emotional honesty that captivated everyone present. When the final note lingered and faded into silence, Simon Cowell leaped from his chair, his hand slamming the golden buzzer. Confetti rained down, swirling through the air as the audience erupted into cheers. The boy's face lit up with disbelief and overwhelming joy, tears welling up as he tried to process the magnitude of the moment. The other judges clapped enthusiastically, some smiling broadly, others with tears glistening in their eyes. The theater seemed to vibrate with the energy of triumph, the boy finally receiving the recognition he had worked so tirelessly to earn. As he absorbed the applause and the standing ovation, the boy's emotions ranged from elation to humble gratitude. Interviews and flashes of praise from the judges highlighted the extraordinary nature of his talent. Simon Cowell, usually reserved with compliments, spoke with sincerity, calling the young singer one of the most incredible voices he had ever heard. The boy stood there taking it all in, a mixture of awe and determination in his eyes. In that moment he wasn't just a contestant, he was a young star whose dreams had been validated, ready to take on the world with the same golden voice that had left an entire audience, including Simon Cowell, completely stunned.